Okay, welcome everybody to another Told Games Foundry session. We're playing through the Blackwood chapter of Elder Scrolls Online. It is exceptionally hot here in the Pacific Northwest. We are not used to temperatures hitting around 100 degrees. Most of the houses around here, they were built in the late 70s or early 80s, and so they just didn't do air conditioning. Then again, air conditioning wasn't really even all that necessary until the last few years when things are getting warmer and these heat waves, these spikes are getting more serious. So, let's see. It is a nice balmy 82 degrees here in the office. It will probably be a lot more by the time I'm done streaming. So be it. If you're new here, we have been looking at the Elder Scrolls Online, the Blackwood chapter, doing all of the stuff in Blackwood. All of the single-player stuff, at least. Not too much of the multiplayer at present. So we've been working on that, and we're following around in Argonian. Let's see what else. Not much else to say, really. So let's jump into the game, shall we? Click, here we go. Ta-da! And here we are back in Elder Scrolls Online. Get the sound turned on, bingo. And, of course, we have Maria Stuarda. She's an Argonian. We have Miri Elendis, who is a companion. Kind of a major upgrade for the Blackwood chapter. They usually try to add one or more major features with the release of a new chapter. A chapter is a year-long campaign. Companions who follow you around and help with the fighting and whatnot, they are the major feature added with the Blackwood chapter, and you can only get a companion if you pay for the Blackwood chapter. In addition to the Blackwood chapter, I also have an ESO account, Elder Scrolls Online Plus account, I should say, and that gives me access to some other things. Looks like I did not disable the chat. There we go. It gives me access to some other things, including all of the chapters that were released prior to Blackwood. But yeah, if you want to play Blackwood in the year that it is that it became available, well, you still have to pay extra for that. That's okay. They need to monetize it. I understand that. Alright, so let's find out where we are. We've been doing stuff trying to dig into what the counselors from the Empire knew about the Longhouse Emperor line's deals with Mehrunes Dagon and what Mehrunes Dagon is planning to do here in Tamriel and, well, in the Blackwood area specifically. Thus far, there are weapons that something we have been calling weapons. They are properly termed ambitions, though that's a vague term. We seem to have saved 2 of the 4 ambitions from the cult of Mehrunes Dagon. They turned out to be wizardly sorts of twins. 2 twins. So an odd with quite a bit of magical power. Don't know what that's quite about yet, but sure, let's find out a little bit more. Let's see. With the twins safely under the protection of Keshu Blackfinn's Legion, that would be in the town of Gideon, in the center of the area. Evely and I need to figure out how to find the other ambitions before Vandasia and his cultists beat us to it. Vandasia is the traitor counselor that we uncovered most recently. Okay, we are in Leowyn and we should talk to Evely. We are, in fact, in Leowyn. Let's keep the main quest rolling right along and find Evely. Oh, she's right in the town square. Leowin is on a major riverway, the Nibben River, I believe. Delta of the Nibben River, where it meets the sea. The Nibben River goes all the way into Cyrodiil, and so Leowin winds up being a very crucial gatekeeper, as it were. What am I doing in here? I don't need to go in here. Or do I? No, I don't. The brain is already getting to me. The brain is... boy, it really is. The heat is really starting to get to me already. If I'm less coherent than usual, well, that will be my reason why. Here is the adorable Evely.
I didn't miss you. We don't have much time before that ship departs, so let's get moving.
Right. We're going to be boarding a ship to go to a secret meeting of the cultists where Vandacia, I think that's how they say it here, will be making some sort of announcement.
Nope. The invitation says we need formal attire to attend Vandacia's event. When I dropped Salvito off with Governor Keshu, she suggested we'd be able to get what we need at the tailor shop here in the city.
Okay.
It's not far. Pretty much dead center of the city. The place is called Armor and Fine Garments.
Perseus.
Keshu suggested we should ask for a tailor by the name of Perseus Loke. He's supposed to know his stuff. I'll meet you there.
Perseus Loke. Is
Armor
that the
and
same?
Fine Garments is right in the city center. I'll meet you there.
Perseus Loke. I'm wondering if that's the same exact tailor that we hung out with several times in the Thieves Guild questline. Here's a plug for my Thieves Guild playthrough. If you missed that, some of the videos may still be up on Twitch. The rest are on YouTube. I definitely recognize these outfits.
I need another moment to pick something out. They all look so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that looks like the same guy. So they just transplanted him across the continent. Looking around. I think no. Okay, Perseus Loke.
Welcome to our humble shop on the boulevard. Are you with the young wood elf? She said her friend was coming by. How may I help you? A formal event? I say, we don't usually get clientele of your caliber seeking outfits from our formal line. Adventurers, am I right? Perhaps I can direct you to my colleagues. They handle our extensive collection of protective armor. Of course. We have a small selection of formal wear, and alterations are part of our service. Unfortunately, such attire usually requires a noble's purse, if you catch my meaning. If funds are short, perhaps we can come to an arrangement. The trade is simple. I need silk from the Blue Whisper moths for next season's line. Bring me a few bundles and I'll trade them for the attire you seek. They nest to the north, along the riverbank. Or you can pay the gold, if you can afford it.
I can, but this sounds like more fun.
The moth loves to nest in the brush to the north of Leowin, along the banks of the river.
That should be easy enough. Door. Such problem doors. Okay, so... It's gonna be a stream, guys. I'm gonna be nice and damp. And there's going to be lots of nice background noise from my graphics processor working overtime. Yes, I'm doing it all on one computer, of course. Okay. You can stop by... Wait, where's the stable master? Oh, there. Nope, that's Miri. Here we are.
The trick.
Better check in and bump my speed up. You only can do that once a day, so anytime you're passing by is a good time to do it. Okay. And okay, so it's just kind of off in this area. I don't need to go into a delve to find it. Shouldn't, anyway. Yeah, okay, there it is.
Are you aware of our patron Saint Alessia? Her deeds? Her champion? Oh, another brave soul seeking the blessing of the White Strake.
Yeah, let's not do this.
Welcome. You stand amidst the...
Right. None of that stuff for me, thank you. Darn, I thought that those might be the mods. I guess they were just the daily PvP things. See, they're along the riverbank. Oh, there's one. Moth soap. It's actually a plant. Interesting. Okay, that's 2. Let's grab this rune while we're at it. Not up this way. Okay, so I'll follow the bank of the river a little further to the south. Shoot. Couldn't find it. Alright, a little further from the shore. Oh, there it is. Alright. Give silk to trader. As you saw, that was the Great River Nibbin, as I had mentioned earlier. Interesting bit of lore about that river. It's quite wide, but Leowyn has a few bridges that cross the river. And Leowyn is kind of positioned on an island in the middle of it. But the bridge that goes over the eastern portion, kind of right here, the bridge, sorry, it's kind of off the map there. The larger bridge here is not quite high enough to let massive ships go through. So rather than construct some edifice that could be raised or lowered to let ships pass through, they keep the bridges in place in order to...
Your timing is impeccable.
Oh, Shalador.
I'd hoped to find you here.
Nah, Shalador, I'm busy. Where's this tailor? Over here. Yeah, rather than raise the ships, they actually make all of the ships unload their cargo and reload the cargo onto smaller ships that can go on the other side of the bridge up the river.
Were you able to gather the silk?
Quite clever.
Ah, you've returned. Were you able to
Okay.
whisper moth silk? Excellent. Oh, this will do nicely.
Okay, so here we go. Now I get to pick an outfit. This is exactly like what occurred in the Thieves Guild questline. How does this one?
That looks good on you. Hang on while I try this one on.
Yeah, that's
Where
actually not
does
too bad.
this piece go?
See how this looks? Nah. Oh, hey, Evely. Not bad.
All right. There. So, how do I look?
Very nice, Evely. That's not a bad outfit for me. I really did like the suit better. Just those three, okay. Well, Evely looks quite sharp here.
So, be honest. I look ridiculous in this outfit, don't I? You really think so? Thanks. You look good too. So, you be the noble, and I'll be your escort. With these outfits, the invitation, and the coin, we should be able to walk right up and board the Calamity. Right.
Okay.
Just act natural, and no one will suspect we don't belong at Vandasia's party. But don't expect...
You did bring a backpack or something for your bow.
Some people don't like the bustle of cities, but I come from a big family, so it reminds me of home.
It'd be nice to dress up Miri. But perhaps later. I still have her in her default costume. Of course, part of the fun of getting a companion is dressing the companion up, or at least that's what I see from just about everybody else that plays. Okay, so it's not any of those boats over there. They head on to main quest stuff.
I can't wait to take a load off at the inn.
Yeah, too bad we're not going to the inn, Miri. Sorry. Evely, no, Evely's not with me. She must already be at the boat. Yeah.
Oh, good, you're here. This dead stump has really been rustling my leaves.
And who might you be? This vessel's been hired for a private affair. Are you now? And where's your invitation? Salvito and guest, huh? All right. This all looks to be in order. Welcome aboard. Make your way below decks and find a bunk. We're shoving off shortly, and it's going to be a long...
A long voyage, huh? But I get to know some of these folks.
As this one has told everyone who has asked, I have no idea what our destination is.
Let's figure out our next move.
How exciting! Councillor Vandacia always throws them.
What about you two?
May the Lord of Destruction...
Oh,
A berth.
well.
Not a proper bed at all. That is what I get for waiting until the last moment.
Explain something I never said.
Sailor John, what do you say?
You nobles are all the same. Bother up.
A bit of a mix of folks on this vessel.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I
Rosina?
was checking the rigging. We'll have the ship.
Rosina's a great name for an opera character, by the way. Oh, there's stuff that can be potentially stolen off the ship.
Bother someone else.
Counselor Vandacia better not.
Okay, so let's talk to Evely before we head downstairs or wherever.
We must be on the right ship. Everyone is dressed like they're about to have tea with Queen Irene herself. I don't know. We want to avoid drawing too much attention to ourselves. We don't want anyone to figure out we're not actually supposed to be here. I guess we could talk to the other guests. Then we should find our berths and get some rest. We want...
Huh. Well, kind of just did that, but let's do it again.
I do not know you, but somewhere spectacular. That's what I have been told. Vandacia does know. Guesses. As many as stars in the sky. But such games get us no
Fire
closer
and
to the
flood.
truth.
Volcano, perhaps?
I don't remember you. This must be your first time experiencing one of Vandacia's events. You're in for... Ah, a new recruit to the cause. Welcome, welcome. Oh, no, my friend. I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, that didn't really get us anywhere. Down below we go. I guess not that way. Oh, huh. Well, sure, we just get in some hammocks. The Deadlands. I don't know if a ship can sail into the Deadlands. Huh. We seem to have sailed into the Deadlands.
I need to get the ship ready for the return voyage. I suggest...
You should join the rest.
What the heck?
How could you sleep through that? Everyone else has already disembarked. We need to hurry.
Convenient.
Well, according to the last couple of nobles who headed off the ship, we're somewhere in the Deadlands, the Oblivion Plain of Mehrunes Dagon. I guess Vandacia really didn't want anyone interrupting this event. Same place the rest of the nobles went. Off the ship in that one.
Okay,
I'm right behind
off we
you.
go.
Let's go see what this is all about.
This way, please. Mind where you step.
Okay.
Keep going. Stay on the path.
No. Got retainers, got ushers.
Please excuse the mess, Your Excellency.
I have a feeling we're all just about to be sacrificed.
Enjoy yourselves. Counselor Vandacia shall be with you momentarily.
Concierge. Well. Master Duvar? Davour.
Perhaps when this is all over, we can stop hiding. I look forward to proudly proclaiming my place in the Order of the Waking Flame.
See
I've
what?
been Councillor Vandacia's most ardent supporter, even when some of the others...
Let's see if, anybody we know.
A little piece of Gideon here in the Deadlands. Greetings.
Piece of Gideon? Alright, sure. Let's play books. Yeah, Miri liked that book. And that was a lore book. And that's a lore book. Cool. Well, hello, Lyrinth. Another lore book. Okay, lore books in here are worth checking out. Lyrinth, what are you doing here?
All this for the price of a single Dagon coin. And then they let me keep it. I will never understand the motivations of mortal creatures.
You alright? So her I knew. Let's see who else might be. No idea who this
Isn't it
is.
exciting? This is the day we've long been awaiting. The revelation of the ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon.
Oh. Okay. He's gonna reveal the ambitions. That's good to know.
The Lord of Fire and Flood has blessed our holdings 1,000-fold. Yet Vandacia claims that even more will soon be ours.
It is good to finally see a return on our investment. Vandacia and the Order have required a huge amount of gold these past few years, especially since the fall of our beloved Emperor.
So Leovic was definitely entwined with this cult.
Alright, this is weird. We're in freaking Oblivion, and these cracked acorns are having a party. I wonder when Vandacia plans to make an appearance. No, look around. He brought these people here to show them he's in control. That he's got power and the favor of Mehrunes Dagon. I think we need to explore this place and figure out what he's got. Which is why we need to get moving. If he has found an ambition, maybe we can free them. And if it's something else, well, we need to see what it is. Let's search around and see if we can get a look at Vandacia's surprise before he parades it before these corrupt nobles. Oh, hey, look! Is that... I'm getting that impression, at least from everyone that isn't you, me, or Lyrinth. What's she doing over there, I wonder? Anyway, since they all seem comfortable...
Ah, little mortal. I was wondering when you were going to arrive. And where did you get that outfit?
Yeah, it's not very practical.
Is that really what passes for the height of fashion among the Tamriel elite this century? I told you I had my own avenues of investigation. Why does it surprise you that I would be on hand for Vandacia's major announcement? Besides, the Dagonist who gave me this coin was only too happy to let me take it from her cold, dead hand.
I think she's working for one of the other Daedric princes, and I'm trying to figure out which one. I'm thinking Mephala. But we'll see.
Not exactly.
Maybe
I haven't been able to
Azura.
move about as freely as I would like. I don't want to reveal myself to Dagon's Dremora any sooner than I have to. But some of these mortals believe that Vandacia has finally found one of the ambitions. As I understand it, he has been looking for them ever since Emperor Leovic's death. I suggest you take advantage of that disguise you're wearing and see what you can find.
Yeah, okay. Let's get exploring.
Be careful. I don't think they want us wandering around on our own.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those situations where I can do stuff. Oh, apparently I can't get too close. Apparently Miri cannot get too close. I think she was the one that did the attacking there. But, Not a big deal. Steel pauldrons of stamina. Very cool. Lore book. Let's see what we got. Menders, battle mages, true sworn. what truce sworn. It's interesting that they're not called, what's the other name for the cult? The Waking Flame, right? Let's go this way.
It's a fight metal.
Let's stay on the path for now.
I'll tell you what I told Vendacia. I'm Sombrin, and I won't perform for the pleasure of a Dagon cult.
Well, hello.
So, Vendacia has let some of his pet nobles come by to gawk at his prize. Away, you vultures! There aren't enough of you to stop Vendacia. He has an army of elite soldiers, crazed cultists, and Daedric creatures given to him by Mehrunes Dagon personally. You're hopelessly outclassed. Me?
Yeah.
I'm the main event at this infernal affair. Vendacia plans to sacrifice me to his Daedric prince, referred to me as one of the 4 ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon. Apparently they think my death will grant them all. I don't know. Maybe. My mentor used that term once or twice, but
he had
never paid it
mentors
much
as well.
mind. Look, to stop Vendacia, you need to get me out of here. Find the key to unlock these chains. Ken Reeve Desirog has a copy. His chamber's to the north.
You get the key. I'll stay here and watch over Sombra.
Yeah, sure.
I'll stand guard.
They're going a little more. The soprano that they have singing in parallel seconds is getting more enthusiastic.
Keep your guard up until you've got your footing.
All right. So, if he is in fact an ambition, he's number 3. Let's just take these ones out. Oh, I suppose I mentioned in the last one that I was going to look up what the deal was with the tome that Evely is carrying around. It is said to be a Daedric artifact known as the Mysterium Xarxis. The Mysterium Xarxis doesn't really come up in Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. It is referenced once. But it plays a big part in the main quest of Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, which, of course, the entire Blackwood chapter is borrowing heavily from, taking a lot of its story directly from Oblivion that I've seen so far. The Mysterium Xarxis in Oblivion is obtained and then augmented with some other artifacts and used.
I really don't like it allowed here. Not even the High Priest.
It is used in a ritual to enter another pocket plane of Oblivion, a piece of the Deadlands itself. Oh, I forgot to be healing Miri. That's my bad. Sorry, Miri. I should be healing myself too. The book was being used by a Cameron fellow to create a pocket plane of Oblivion, which he called Paradise. But then we defeated him, so the hero of Kvatch is what they call it, in the main character in Oblivion, winds up going to this pocket plane and dispatching what's his name, Cameron. So there you have that. In Skyrim, it only comes up because of the events that happen in Oblivion. Only one page survived, and it winds up being featured in a museum dedicated towards that era, the previous eras, Oblivion's eras, Dagon cult, which it was called the Mysterious Dawn. I just lost it. Mythic Dawn. Yeah.
We're too late. While you were searching for the key, Vandacia arrived. Great. But it's not like we can just walk in there and... Wait a moment, that's it! If we can cause a panic, get those nobles to run around screaming, that should create enough of a diversion for you to use that key and set Sombrin free. Take these Reekers. They're beetles similar to dewbugs. Very tasty,
Oh.
but they release a foul odor when they die. I was saving them for later, but I'll get more. Place them around the hall. Then, when you give the signal, I'll loose some arrows. Just drop the Reekers around the perimeter of the chamber. Once you've placed them, give me the signal and wait for the clouds of stench to clear the room. Then you can set some. We had an infestation in my village when I was a little girl. If you know how to do it, you can kill them without causing a stink. They're quite delicious. But if you just crush them or stick them with an arrow, phew, that's what we're counting on.
Okay.
Place the Reekers around the chamber, then give me the signal when you're done.
Okay. Got it. Which chamber? Oh. The main one. The audience hall.
Brothers!
brothers and sisters of the waking flame, behold our future. This is one of the fabled 4 ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon, and his death will elevate us all. Like the others of his kind, he was created from birth for one.
Now that's what I call a distraction.
Yes.
Let's grab Sombra and get out
Interrupt
of
this
here.
sacred ceremony. Destroy them!
Counselor,
Damn.
this way.
The High Priest is getting away.
Now go. I will
No
teach
matter.
you
Come.
truths.
If we can reach the entry hall, I can open a portal back to Nirn.
Well, a lot of people were talking just at the same time there. Okay. But what was up there? Okay, I'm gonna follow this path for a little bit. I know I'll go there eventually, so alright, I'll stay on the path. Don't die, Miri. Okay. I gave Miri a two-handed axe. Seemed like more fun. Ooh. Apparently I need to go and see a merchant to have my stuff repaired.
I need a moment.
Get up, Sombrin. We need
Stop
to get
them.
out of here.
Recapture the ambition at all costs.
Too exhausted.
I'll help Sombrin. You need to deal with those Dremora.
Easy enough.
You know, I like to think I'm agreeable. Alright, not quite the mummy.
Very well. I shall deal with you myself.
Okay, boss time. I always forget to use my ult. Now's a good time.
I think I'm getting good at this.
Yeah, alright. Oh, look at that, we got a companion sash.
Take your companions and leave this place. We shall see each other again.
But what was up there? Off to Gideon. $85 and climbing.
Remind me never to get dressed up for a romp through oblivion again. This
But
fancy
why?
outfit threw off my aim ever so slightly. I think we have to. We've got 3 of the 4 ambitions. Now we just need to figure out what to do with them. That goes without saying. Take Sombrin to the Temple of Dibella in Gideon.
Do I get to keep my outfit, by the way? No. I don't get to keep my outfit.
Thank you for getting me out of that place. I am in your debt. That story would take too long to tell. Let's just say I made the mistake of returning to a place where I once lived. I wasn't paying attention. Suddenly I was surrounded by Von Dacia's cultists. They overpowered me and I woke up in chains.
He doesn't look like a magic caster like the others. He's carrying around a big sword.
Yes,
Interesting.
I would like to meet these other ambitions. Find out who they are, what we are, and learn more about this power Von Dacia seems intent on taking from us. Lead on. And
take Sombrin to the Temple of Dibella. Then meet me at the Governor's Mansion.
Lead the way, my friend.
Temple of Dibella. Oh, right. In Gideon there was an issue with some Dibellites. Turns out the Dibella worshippers aren't all that. They were doing some not so lovely things. But should be as good of a place as any to park a guy. If I remember right, last time I was in here, there were more guards and legionnaires than there were actually Dibellites. Oh, my other 2 twins?
Go, my friend. Go see Evely. The twins and I have much to discuss.
Oh, wait.
I'm Destron, and this is my sister Kalia. But who are you?
My name is Sombrin, and I, like you, am an ambition.
Another ambition? Truly? How very nice to meet you.
I was curious. What was Destron writing about? We are twins. The Rams. Right, okay, I saw this before. He calls the twins the Rams. That's what makes me think that they are just one ambition combined. Alright, alright. Well, Evely's gonna be in every part of this story, it seems like. Keshu Blackfin is quite the Argonian. Very long, storied history.
Did you get Sombrin settled into the temple? Did you? Perfect. I was telling the governor everything that happened. How we traveled to the Deadlands and stopped Van Dacia from sacrificing the 3rd ambition. We need to figure out our next move. Oh, before I forget, here's your share of our compensation.
Necklace, a skill point.
You have done well so far,
and
mercenary.
Quest completed.
Now we must speak.
After I take a look at my new necklace. Let's see, it's part of the Deadlands Assassin, but it does increase magicka. By a lot. In fact, it's the same recovery and maximum magicka as the other one. It's just part of a different set. Unfortunately, I lose my bonus with frost damage. So I may as well use my restoration staff. That's an odd-looking restoration staff. Oh well.
Every
Keshu.
stone tossed into a pond causes ripples. The stones you have thrown have caused waves. As much as I wish to assist you, I need to think of Gideon and its safety.
Yeah.
My spy master tells me that Councillor Von Dacia still has eyes in the city. That even now we fear he is aware that we harbor the ambitions. that he gathers his cultists to assault Gideon. The presence of the ambitions puts my people at risk.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Keep the ambitions safe, but we need to find a better place to hide them. Talk to the ambitions. Perhaps the third one you rescued. Sombrin, was it? Evely said he wasn't locked in a vault when the cult found him. Maybe he knows more than
That's
the
true.
twins.
Supposedly all of the ambitions were locked away in vaults of some sort. That's where we found the twins.
I would never turn away anyone in need. We will protect the ambitions for as long as we can. Yet I fear my legion. My spy master reports a flurry of activity that is troublesome, and Gideon is not the fortress it once was. Even so, my Blackfin leader, Vandasia's family, is powerful and has deep roots in Blackwood. His spies and
Yeah, I was wondering about that. He's had Gideon as a hometown for a while. Okay, back to this so-called Temple of Dibella. Oh yeah, like the matron in the Temple of Dibella was out murdering a whole bunch of people for underhand reasons.
Go on, Kalia. Unleash your power. Just like back in the Sanctum.
All right, if you say so.
Something's wrong.
Pull back, Kalia. Pull back!
I can't!
Hold on. Let me help. There.
How did you do that?
Practice. I trained to control my powers after I left my vault.
Well, that's interesting. So they all have powers, but being in the vault, it makes the powers harder to control. Being outside the vault makes the powers harder to control. Sombrin, okay.
I was freed from my vault.
Talk.
It took months for my own power to reach such levels, and then it nearly destroyed me. I'm surprised Callie has gotten to that point so quickly after her release.
Okay.
Our powers grow exponentially once we leave the protection of the vaults. It's what they were constructed for. But Kalia's power has advanced much faster than mine did. It almost consumed her. If not for my mentor, the same would have befallen me.
Yeah. What's
when
this
Duke
about a
Baron's
mentor?
forces came through, they set me free. To them, I was just another political prisoner. I wandered without a purpose for a time until my power reached a level similar to what you saw here. That's when my mentor found me.
Varen is the one who killed the Emperor. His story is told in the main Elder Scrolls Online questline.
I don't see why not. Plus, it will probably be safer if the three of us leave for a while. There's an old shrine northwest of here. Let's meet there. I suggest you tell your Wood Elf companion where we're going. She seems like the sort to worry. Find us in the marsh to the northwest. I'll take Callie and Destron and meet you at the shrine. Don't worry, I'll protect them. The cultists won't surprise me again. Just let your Wood Elf friend know that we have the twins, and we'll keep them safe.
I'm starting to worry that he might be a plant. On the other hand, well, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, he may flip sides, and if he does that, it's going to be bad.
Why do you think Emperor Leovic had those vaults constructed? They contain and limit our power. Without them, the power would grow and expand until it destroyed us. The vaults were supposed to keep us alive long enough to learn to control our power. Right. About that. Obviously, what I thought I knew and the truth aren't exactly the same. Regardless, without the protection of the vault, Kalia's and Destron's powers will eventually kill them. She was able to train me.
A mentor,
She also
yeah.
had a method for suppressing my power until I can contain it on my own. Without her, I wouldn't be here today. She can help Destron and Kalia. I'm sure of it.
Who is this mentor?
The governor is wise. A moving target is harder to hit than a stationary one. And if we're no longer inside the city, Vandasia's cultists have no reason to attack it. I wasn't paying attention. My mentor warned me that I was going to be hunted, but I didn't listen. I returned to my old vault to see if I could
that's what we
learn
meant by
more
home
about who
earlier.
and what I am. The cultist ambushed me, knocked me out before I could respond.
Yeah,
I
who
was
is
raised in the
this
vault,
mentor?
Just like the twins. Isolated, ignorant of the world outside. All I knew was that I was different. Special, somehow. Duke Varen's forces set me free when I was 16. My mentor found me some months later.
He's almost the same... No, he was almost the same age as the twins. But he's older now, okay.
I fell in with mercenaries, wandering and learning to fight even as my power grew. I was beginning to lose control when my mentor appeared. She was a shaman of sorts. She taught me how to master my power, but she never referred to me as an ambition. She said she had been looking for me. She knew of Mehrunes Dagon's interest in a hidden secret and had been searching for it. But it wasn't until my power began to manifest outside the vault that she was able to locate me. She saved my life.
Okay. Being very dodgy about who this mentor is. Alright, Destron, what do you say?
Our power seems to be getting stronger. Harder to control. If not for Sombrin, Kalia's own power might have consumed her. Is this our... No, probably not. But we're definitely getting stronger. You saw what I did in the Sanctum. My power is lightning, but after seeing how Kalia lost control, I'm hesitant to use it out here. I will, though, if I'm called upon to defend my sister.
Lightning, fire. I wonder if Sombrin does ice. Kalia?
That was terrifying. I've never felt anything like that. Ever. Nothing like that ever occurred during our training in the Sanctum. What's happening to me? My gift is fire. Summoning flames is as natural as breathing. In the vault, it was always just a spark or a simple flicker. But when I tried to hit the target, I couldn't control it. The fire inside me, it wanted to grow, to spread, to feed. I'm fine. A bit lightheaded, maybe. Whatever Sombrin did, it put the fire out. At least for now. I don't like this. What if next time I summon the power, no one...
Yeah, okay. Continuing to move on. The story is getting interesting, isn't it?
Hey, I'm over here.
I hardly recognized you.
Keshu told me to take a thinking break. It helps to take a break sometimes, you know? From thinking, so you can think better later. Anyway,
Sure.
How are the ambitions doing? Have you figured out a better place to hide them? Well, that sounds bad, obviously. What happened? Oh,
Okay.
I knew there was a reason we plucked him out of Vandasia's fortress in the Deadlands. I mean, other than preventing a human sacrifice. So who is this helpful person?
I have no idea.
Stick close to them. You need to keep the ambitions safe and out of Vandasia's clutches. While
Alright, so... Meet the ambitions at the shrine. What shrine might this be, I wonder? Up there? That thing way off in the distance?
I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to.
Leave the frog... Oh, it's a crocodile. Leave the crocodile alone, huh? Fury. Okay. Oh, there was this odd little spot that seemed unoccupied for no apparent reason.
that helps. I'm
scared too.
Here we are, shrine. Yep.
All I ask is that you all keep an open mind.
That's a Dremora.
Sombrin, what's going on here?
That would be why he was
See,
being
everyone,
dodgy about it.
This is Zaina. She can help us. Mercenary, why don't you speak to her?
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. I didn't expect to hear from Sombrin again after he left, despite my advice. But to find him in the presence of a powerful mortal and 2 other ambitions. But where are my manners? Greetings, mortal. I am Zaina.
Yeah, okay.
And so I did. I sensed his need and offered my assistance. He learned well, and as he will tell you, I never betrayed him. Is that why he has summoned me? Because those other 2 ambitions now face the same danger that almost consumed him?
Yep.
Then you must bring them to my sanctuary. They are far more than anything you can imagine. I helped Sombrin because I didn't want to see him fall into Mehrunes Dagon's hands, or destroy himself with his own power. I will do the same for the others. I hide in the Deadlands. Yes, Dagon's realm. But I have ways to protect us. Before you bring them, they must be attuned to this realm. Find slivers of the Deadlands lodged in your world. Sombrin will show you how to use them to attune your ambitions.
Finally, we get a fetch quest.
As I said, Zaina helped me. And she can help Kalia and Destron. You just have to trust her. And if you can't trust her, trust me. Forgive me. But in my experience, most of Nirn takes a dark view of Dremora. Zaina found me when I was at my worst. If she wanted me dead, she could have killed me years ago or just let me destroy myself. Instead, she helped me. Taught me control.
Zaina is in the Deadlands, is a Dremora. This is,
of that
this could
I'm
go
certain.
many ways.
Competition in the Deadlands is fierce, especially among the non-aligned Dremora. I know that she seeks allies to call upon when the need arises. Having 3 ambitions who owe you a favor? Oh, that's like gold to Zaina.
Okay.
Let me mark your map.
Non-aligned
Zaina told me where
Dremora.
to find these slivers of the Deadlands when I needed them. Dagon cultists often enshrine these shards whenever they find them. You'd be surprised how often chunks of oblivion make their way to Nirn.
Nah, not surprised.
I'll describe the process when you return. I need to prepare a portal at a place where the planar boundaries are thin. Take Kalia and Destron and gather the slivers. Then I can attune them to the Deadlands. I also marked where to meet me on your map. Our powers interact strangely with the natural forces of the Deadlands. That's why we need to be attuned. Of course, I underwent the process years ago. Now we must help the twins do the same. Keep them safe, then meet me on the road south of Gideon. No, you're not an ambition. Besides, you've been to the Deadlands already and suffered no ill effects. If
It was
the twins
stinky there.
attempted that before we attuned them, the plane would rip them apart. Our power is connected to Mehrunes Dagon in some way. I'm not
Right.
entirely sure. I just know that there's some element of Mehrunes Dagon inside us, and it wants to return whence it came. I think that's what Von Dacia hoped to accomplish by killing me. Anyway.
So Dagon may be handicapped by these ambitions being here. Okay, 1, 2 crimson slivers, and they're right nearby. That's not so bad.
Can you believe it, Kalia? We're going to be great heroes.
What's heroic about being consumed by our own powers?
Oh, they're gonna come with me.
To control his powers. She'll do the same for us.
If the cultists or our own powers don't kill us first.
Come now, sister. Where's your sense of adventure?
Yeah, really. Cool. Okay, so I got 2 Ultra Mages joining me on my journey. That's fun. Oh, let's talk to these guys.
I suppose we must trust in Sombrin's experience. He knows quite a lot more about our powers than we do. Does it matter? I felt the power inside me when I lost control back at the temple. I couldn't stop it. If Sombrin hadn't suppressed my flames, I would have ignited this.
Okay.
Let's find these objects from the Deadlands as Sombrin's mentor suggested. If it helps keep me and my sister alive, we've got to try it, no matter the risk. No, but I never heard of ambitions either before all this began. We're in new territory here, but as long as my sister and I are in danger, I'll take help wherever I can get it. Let's go and find it.
We're still missing an ambition. Part of me wonders if Evely is going to wind up being an ambition as well. Ah, stupid brood mother. Hate these things. Okay.
What if Zyna only wants to use us for our power, Destron?
She can't force us. You heard her. She needs allies, and we're as powerful as they come.
I've read the stories. Pacts with Daedra never turn out well.
I'll protect you, Kalia. You have my word.
Silly little brother. I'm the one who protects you.
You're barely older, only by a moment.
Oh, some Sulzon. What are they doing here? Sulzon are another destruction cult. Argonian based, though. Well, sort of Argonians. Argonians don't think that the Sulzon are Argonians. They call them Naga instead. It's a sub-breed.
Two slivers of the Deadlands, one for each of us. Mission accomplished.
I fear it just gets more difficult from here.
You worry about everything. Let's go meet Sombrin.
Okay. Oh, we're going somewhere else. Guess down here. This does seem like such a bad idea. We're taking the 3 ambitions to Oblivion. Just... okay.
I don't suppose we have anything to cook.
No, sorry, Mary. I'm on the road. What road? Oh, whoa, way over there. Dang, okay.
Was tired of walking anyway.
Yeah, this is a long run. So, here we go. I'm going to skip most of the harvesting. I think I'm gonna do the one where the tactic where if I see a new harvesting spot, I will pick it up so that it gets marked on my map. Otherwise, I'll try and move through things efficiently. It's a big dungeon up there, in between here and there. Gonna need to go around that. It didn't look like there was a way shrine near this destination either, so walking it is. Let's see. So we've found out that there are all kinds of Dremora. Dremora are Daedra. They are not Daedric princes, but they are a form of Daedra. In the Elder Scrolls game, Daedra are devils, you could say. Daedric princes are arch-fiends or arch-devils. And usually the Daedric princes have certain themes, certain domains that they preside over. Hello, what's that? I thought I had done all the quests. Is this just a quest for the dungeon? Hey bud, what's going on?
Zietze. I whispered a prayer to the shadow of Atakota, and now you stand before me, an agent of change. Before me are the bones of a Niswo, a priest of Sithis, who died searching for a special tome. I seek to whisper. I need you to venture inside the Zietze stone nest and locate the Night Wielder's tome. I will mark your map. I would retrieve the tome myself, but I fear the Sulzan who inhabit Zietze and kill.
Well, interesting. That's going to take me into a delve. I'll do that later, I guess. Right now, let's keep working on getting these princes across Blackwood.
Can never have enough of that.
That's what I think, Miri. Almost there. Blackwood was crawling with new players when it first came out.
Destron, stop! This is serious!
Relax, Kalia. We're on an adventure.
Destron, be serious. Our own powers could destroy us.
That won't happen. I won't let it.
It might not be up to you.
Kalia, we'll figure this out.
We're doing this to avoid all that. Did you gather the slivers?
Mm-hmm. I did. And I gathered some pewter. And a little bit of maple. So much good stuff. A little bit of flax. Alrighty then. Here we go.
You found the Deadland slivers? Good. I set up the portal at the top of the hill behind me. Alatun, Kalia, and Destron. Then we can make our way to the summit. I need you to deal with a complication for me. Creatures were drawn to the hillside by my actions. Could you make sure the path to the top is clear? The last thing we need is for some mundane and random threat to provoke a response from...
Great. Okay, so... Alright. A mire gaunt. Yeah, let's not provoke it. A lot of these places that are eyeballs on the map, they are just scenic destinations, but they very often do have a quest associated with them.
Still here.
Very often it's the main quest.
Get back, you fetcher!
No cash. Alright. What? Go away.
Maybe I should have joined the buoyant armigers.
Okay. That's probably one of the creatures we need to take care of. If you do happen to join me on stream, let me know. Say something in the chat, and I'd love to be able to greet you properly. I suppose I could be doing a little bit more of a speed run through all of this. But hey, why not enjoy the view?
Just like we discussed, focus on the slivers of Deadlands. It's working!
I've never traveled by portal before.
Quick, step inside. Follow when
That's
you're ready,
not true.
friend.
More Deadlands. Okay, why are we here and not in the sanctuary itself?
I greet you, mortal. As with Sombrin, I shall do all that I can to aid the twins. But first, they must survive the Ashen Forest. They must walk the path of the obelisks. Before I can teach them to contain their power, they must first come to understand it. The path of the obelisks will help them do so. They protect the twins from the dangers of the forest. They cannot unleash their power safely until they have learned to control it. At each obelisk, you will bear witness to the truths they learn. Come to me, the power of these two ambitions grows with every passing moment. You must hurry. The path begins to the northwest. The Dremora of my clan have dwelt in the Deadlands for ages uncounted. This is the seat of my power.
She has
just
a
as
clan?
it is Mehrunes Dagon's. Allegiances among Daedra are not as simple as they are in the mortal world. Let us just say that I do not wish to see Mehrunes Dagon succeed in this endeavor. The ambitions must not fall into his hands. I cannot say for certain. Their truths are their own, not mine. Yet I know that they must... The Dremora of my clan have dwelt in the Deadlands for allegiances among Daedra.
Alright. So who was there for Sombrin? Okay. Ooh, Iron Atronach. I don't think we want to fight that thing.
Watch out with you, Swit!
Looks like a player is doing a quest alongside me here. Mehrunes Dagon, when he is depicted, is often depicted like that last creature I just killed. Large, bulky, and with 4 arms.
That must be the first obelisk.
Prepare yourself, brother, while our friend activates it and serves as our witness. Something is happening.
The babes are asleep? How? I couldn't get the boy to stop bawling.
I fed the twins until they were full and exhausted.
Your Majesty, welcome. The babes are healthy and strong.
Counselor Vandacia,
Commanded, my Emperor.
soldier.
She bore twins.
As Mehrunes Dagon commanded, so it has been done.
Our parents?
Morikar?
I don't understand.
Emperor Morikar, so not Leovic. Interesting.
Such a short vision, but it...
I don't remember my parents. They never told us anything about them in the vault. I suppose this means they were loyal subjects? No. We were told our pasts weren't important. All that mattered was... No, but I always assumed we were special. Meant for great things. I had no idea they only wanted to kill us. Like they were...
Yeah.
Such a short vision, but it tells me so much. Our parents, I think they willingly gave us to the Emperor and Vandacia.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? Look at all these urns, though. Ooh, look at the nice Daedric runes on the floor here. That's fun. Okay, continuing the path. Runes on that little pillar as well. Flame Hound. Yeah, no thanks. I got a sorcerer, huh?
Keep it away!
Well done!
Thank you.
I suppose this is the obelisk of empowerment.
Here's...
Activate it, if you would, friend.
Sure.
It's starting.
Time for the final ritual, my Emperor.
Proceed, High Priest.
O Mehrunes Dagon,
Ramen
Prince
Rolus.
of ambition and destruction,
Lestra Parolus.
imbue these infants with your power. Let it ripen and grow within these vessels until the appointed time.
As
So,
Dagon wills
let
it.
it be done.
Oh, here they go.
Our parents were sacrificed to Mehrunes Dagon? Why?
They wanted to be.
Vandacia. He performed the rituals that gave us our powers. And all for the glorification of a Daedric prince. I think I may be ill.
Our parents went along with this madness. They allowed themselves to be sacrificed to empower Vandacia's ritual. To imbue us with Dagon's power. But for what purpose? He said something about ripen and grow. They went along with it, but I'm not completely certain it was their choice. Even true believers have to have some sense of self-preservation, don't they? Regardless, it's clear that whatever Vandacia wants us for started at that moment.
Morikar. I don't think he was the first of the Longhouse Emperors.
Do we have any choice? I need to know everything, even if a part of me wishes we were still in our sanctum and you never found us. If it helps us control our powers, if it...
So these two are supposedly, like, 18? But how long had Leovic been in power? I thought it was about, like, 20 years each per each of the three emperors. I suppose that's not true. I think it was 60 years for all of the Longhouse Emperors. Going the wrong way. 60 years between all of the Longhouse Emperors, but yeah, I don't know how those 60 years are divided. Okay, you're going down. Well, that's a fun creature. Ow, 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 ow. Okay.
That portal opened on its own. Suppose we should step inside.
Portal to the inevitable. Great. There's a third obelisk somewhere.
This must be the day you learn your destiny.
Emperor Vandacia?
That I and the waking flame emerged victorious.
No. Destron, is that us up there?
And Beirut's Dagon? Is this our future, Kalia? Is this inevitable?
There's Mehrunes Dagon right there. But I only see two sacrifices. Where are the other two? Well. Alright.
How long ago was it when I crushed you and claimed the ambitions for myself? It must be rather depressing to see that all your efforts were in vain. That my victory is inevitable. Visions. You must understand the forces with which you meddle. Given your failures before you died, that doesn't surprise me. You entered the portal at the obelisk of inevitability in the Deadlands. What could be more inevitable than the future? Look around and see for yourself. The very fact that you stand before me proves that you didn't stop me. You didn't save the ambitions. You didn't save anyone. You still do not understand.
Mercenary, time to go. Through the portal, quickly.
That choice wasn't read, so it shouldn't have exited the conversation.
Run along.
Oh well.
Vandacia. He had us displayed like trophies.
We saw our future. We're doomed.
Snap out of it. What you saw was just one possible inevitability. Nothing is set in stone.
A possible inevitability? I think that's that's paradox at least. That doesn't work.
I didn't think that was how my story was going to end. I really thought we were going to win. Isn't it? You saw the Prince of Destruction. How can we hope to fight something like that, let alone his High Priest? Maybe it's better if we just let our powers consume us. At least then Vandacia won't be able to claim us. Now you sound like Kalia and Sombrin. You're right, though. We have power beyond anything Vandacia possesses. That's why he wants us. Once Zaina teaches us to control it, we'll be unstoppable.
Okay. 1, 2.
Vandacia is going to win. We saw ourselves. He was drawing power from us, like sipping wine from a chalice. But you saw how Vandacia looked. Strong, powerful, and Mehrunes Dagon looking down on us. How do we stand against that?
Well, that was a problem.
I don't... Can it really be that simple? Was that the point of these visions? To show us how we were created, and to reveal a dark and possible future? All right. I understand.
Okay.
The obelisk of inevitability reveals just one possible future. True, it's the most likely outcome, but it isn't the only one. Now that we know where things are heading, we can work to change the course. We're dealing with forces beyond our understanding. It was always going to be a difficult journey, but the obelisk of inevitability only shows what will happen if events continue on their current course. That future hasn't happened yet. The perils of visiting oracles. Are we better off knowing what is to come, or continuing on in blissful ignorance? I believe our choices matter.
Okay. Enter Zaina's sanctuary. Okay. That was fun. Looks like we got a couple guards over here. What do we got for guards? Je vais lie? No. Well. He doesn't seem to want to let us in.
Is that the last of them? Oh, thank feck.
Okay. Let's meet this Zaina.
Mortal who bore witness for the twin ambitions, let us speak.
I kind of thought that our other Dremora friend would be here, but I guess not.
We can finally greet each other in person, mortal. Before we begin the process that will permit the twins to control their powers, I must ask you a single question. Why does one who abhors Mehrunes Dagon care what happens to his ambitions? A noble sentiment, but they are more than just people. They are powerful weapons. Dagon's priest imbued them with a portion of the Lord of Destruction's own energy when they were born. It has grown and intensified in the intervening years. Imagine that each ambition is like a mortal bank. Instead of gold, the priest deposited a portion of Dagon's energy inside them. That energy grew with them, compounding and doubling year after year like interest on your savings. It also transformed.
Interest doesn't exactly double things year after year. It takes about 7 years. But anyway, transformed in what way?
In every way. What was once just of oblivion became mixed with Nirn. Now that energy is a part of both realms, and that is why Mehrunes Dagon wants it back. It will give him a connection to Nurgle he so greatly desires, a path to your world.
Right.
Their power is like a volcano, building until released as an explosion or a lava flow. One is catastrophic, the other merely destructive. I will delay the eruptions while teaching them to dissipate and maintain control. You may observe, of course. We must begin the ritual at once. This way.
Yeah. I'll join you in a second.
I'll feel better knowing you're nearby.
What has me a little puzzled is that in the great cinematic that they have as a trailer for Blackwood, in the trailer they show a handful of characters. They show a Redguard, they show an Argonian, and of course they show Evely and Lyranth, the Dremora. I have not yet met the Argonian and the Redguard.
What's happening? What's going on?
What are you doing?
Helping you fulfill your purpose. Your ambitions. You belong to Mehrunes Dagon.
Called it. That didn't take long.
What happened? No! Zaina! Damn it! You betrayed us!
Yeah. She was using you to get to the other ones. Dum-dum. Oh, still in Zaina's sanctuary. Alright, here we go.
Damn her! Zaina betrayed us and cast us into the spider nest! It's a dungeon beneath her sanctuary. She sends her enemies here to die. We aren't her enemies. She saved my life many times. If she'd wanted to hurt me, she could have done so long ago. Why turn against me now? I don't want to believe that. But I heard what she said too. And she completely drained my energy. I can't call upon my power until it recharges. We need to find a way out of here. First things first. I need to restore my power. Let me think. Zaina told me about an old foe she destroyed. The skull is in the treasure chamber. You can get there through the east door, retrieve it, and meet me at the door in the north. When you find me, I'll be in a meditative state. Present the skull, and I'll do the rest.
It could be that Zaina truly is independent, but that she feels cornered, perhaps, and she wants to maintain her independence by offering Mehrunes Dagon some portion of what he wants. It is interesting that she is sparing this one and not the twins. It may be that she wants him to stay alive so that he can find the other ambition who's still out there somewhere. Let's find out more.
Menthix, an ancient rival. Challenging him was one of the last tasks Zaina assigned to me as she trained me to control my power. Together, we vanquished Menthix and left his bones in the spider nest. Zaina did something to Menthix to chain his essence here forever. She kept him from coming back by trapping his power here, below her temple. That's also why the skull contains energy. Energy I can use to reach. She probably didn't want to have to deal with 3 ambitions and you at the same time. She needs our powers at their full strength for whatever she has planned. She reversed what I did. I could feel it. Kalia and Destron's powers have been unleashed. Eventually. But probably not before she completes whatever she has in mind. Hurry. We need that skull. The skull
it doesn't look good.
The trapped essence of a powerful Daedric lord. If Zaina had simply killed her rival, he would have returned like Daedra do. So instead, she trapped a portion of his... You heard Zaina.
Got it. Alright, so On we go, we're gonna find this skull. Looks like there's a way out of this place somewhere, but the mini-map is showing me an exit. That doesn't seem that way, really. Okay. That skull? Nope. Something tells me we're going to be spending a lot of time in Oblivion.
You lead.
You know, if Zaina has a spider's nest, something tells me that Mephala is a much more likely candidate for her allegiance. Mephala is all about the spiders. In D&D terms, Mephala is very similar to Lolth. And Mephala does good by the Daedra. Sorry, the Daedra. The Dark Elves
Big family, you have to know how to scrap.
actually respect Mephala. I had never put it together that that's a kind of a connection between the Dunmer and Mephala are similar to the Drow and Lolth in Faerun. Or all of D&D, really. Most of D&D. Both are Dark Elves. If you really want to do a deep dive on that lore, well, let's take care of these spiderling Daedra first.
They're coming for us.
So doing a little bit more of a deep dive on the lore. The Dunmer grouped their Daedric princes into two general categories. There are what they call good Daedra and what they call bad Daedra. What they call the good Daedra are Azura, who's quite famous, a Daedra of prophecy, Daedric prince, should be more clear, and prince is not a gender-specific term. So Azura is depicted as a female in almost every case. So Azura is one of the good Daedra. Mephala and Boethia are also considered good Daedra, even though Mephala is about deceit and Boethia is about betrayal. Despite that, I guess they've done good by the Dark Elves, so they're considered good. Yeah, Mephala is a little bit more on the subterfuge, and Boethia is more on the strict betrayal side. Similar terms, right? Okay, got a Daedric skull. Will travel. So those three good Daedra were the previous... Yeah, I was wondering why they weren't showing any interest in me. Those three Daedra are were for a good portion of the Dunmer society. Yeah, they're patrons. But there was an event in the first era that gave the Dark Elves 3 different patrons who became known as the Living Gods. They were people very much like the Proto-Dunmer Dark Elves, except that they were called Chimer before they became Dark Elves. Anyway, these 3 entities became they were mortals who ascended to godhood and then became the new patrons of the Dunmer people. The previous 3 Daedra became known as the Anticipations because, in theory, they anticipated the arrival of the 3 living gods.
Hold the skull toward me, please.
All these urns. Sorry, I really like opening urns, as you can tell. Okay, call that good for now. Oh, Zionist Book of Controls, lore book. Written in glowing golden ink. Contract. Interesting. It's her book of contracts. Command of Maria Stuarda, submit to be bound under the following conditions in exchange for my master's aid in the conquest of the mortal realm known as Cyrodiil, the Reachfolk chieftain known as Is that the first of the Longhouse Emperors? Shall cause to be born 4 ambitions under the signs and circumstances described in the Holy Book. That must be the Mysterium Xarxus. It is written. Contract 138. I now endorse and extend the contract bestowed upon Durach to his son Morikar, now Emperor of Cyrodiil. Okay, so I was correct. Durkarach. Okay, now I got it. Durkarach was the first Longhouse Emperor, and the contract extends to Morikar. Morikar executed his father's burden of bringing the 4 ambitions. I shall submit to guide and instruct the Emperor's agent in the ritual of empowerment described in the Holy Book. The Emperor's agent, of course, would be Vandacia. It is written. Just like that old the 10 Commandments with Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston. The contracts are written down and then it is ended with "it is written," much like Yul Brynner saying, "So let it be written, so let it be done." Yeah, that's totally where they got that. Okay, so Durkarach got things moving. Morikar executed the burden, and by executed that means completed the thing. 4 ambitions, 4 babes. 37th and 38th. Default. I attest to the default of heirs of Durkarach in the execution of the preceding 2 contracts. Death of Leovic without the designation of an heir activates the codicils described within the Holy Book. So we're outside of the bounds of the contract. Whomsoever sacrifices the prepared ambitions in the manner required by Mehrunes Dagon may lay claim to the reward once promised to Durkarach and his heirs, it is written. So Leovic, the 3rd of the Longhouse Emperors, died. Now Vandacia wishes to basically claim this inheritance for his own. Curse that boy Sombrin, 3 of the ambitions remain hidden within their vaults, and the one I had in my grasp has now returned to the mortal realm. That's right. She was trying to keep Sombrin to herself. At least he believes that all other servants of Mehrunes Dagon are his mortal enemies. When the time is right, I will lure him back, or perhaps he will come to find me. She just needs some patience. That was fun reading. Okay. Here we go. Getting up on the end of the streaming, so...
I left it over there.
Okay, yeah, I read it.
Alright, I'm ready. Follow me. We have to stop Zyna. Attack!
Here we go.
She's doing something to the twins!
Too late. Lord Dagon will reward me for securing the twins.
I'll help Callie and Destron. You deal with Zyna.
The ambitions belong to Lord Dagon. Their power is for him alone.
Come on. Oh man, I wasted my ult. Great, I'm gonna have to... this is a foursome battle, looks like. Ooh. Mary, let's stay nice and healthy.
My master will reward me for destroying you.
Here we are.
It's all in your head. Keep fighting.
Ooh, Miri, careful there. I have my restoration staff.
Only you truly understood the nature of the ambitions.
Equipped so I can do all sorts of healing on Miri. I can also do a little bit of damage myself, but
Enemy is this way.
yeah, mostly I'm gonna just make sure Miri stays up and she'll do a lot of the damage for me.
I will not fail my lord and...
Oh, Miri, careful. Miri, you do a really terrible job of staying out of dangerous situations. Down goes Zyna.
Zyna. She was going to sacrifice us to Mehrunes Dagon.
Sombrin.
Of course she was.
How could you bring us to this monster?
She wasn't like this. I didn't know.
Destron, help me open a portal. Like Sombrin showed us on the hilltop.
Sombrin, they're kind of done with you. Check the bookshelves here. Anything else interesting?
This wasn't how it was supposed to turn out. Come on. Let's go after them.
Sombrin, you know, you're kind of in trouble. I'm gonna have so many Daedric husks when I leave here. Yeah, each one of those Daedric husks I'm going to be selling for, let's see, yeah, 19 Daedric husks times 5 gold, so that's, you know, that's 100 gold there. Not too bad, right? And a lore book. Okay, here we go. So we're heading back out of the Deadlands, back into Gideon. So we'll be coming up on a good break point, I think. Destron, Kalia. Let's just check in with that.
Sombrin was only trying to help us. I know that. But he still led us to that evil place. Whatever Zyna was doing to us, though, it siphoned off some of my power. I think I can use my fire now. Control it. At least, for a while.
I bet you put it into those other Daedra husks. Oh man, I'm a sucker for those bards.
Didn't want to help. She wanted to kill us. How many more of these fanatics are going to attempt to sacrifice us before all is said and done? At least I'm in control of my power for the moment. It may not last, but it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Zyna,
How did you manage to control it?
she never gave me any indication that she was going to betray us. That she was involved in our creation and wanted to sacrifice us to Mehrunes Dagon. At least the twins don't appear to be in imminent danger of exploding. Let me take another look at Zyna's contracts. Yes, it's here. Zyna used a holy book to show Von Dacia how to create the four ambitions. Could it have been the Mysterium Xarxis? She was always loyal to Dagon. She never wanted to help us at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're either still locked in a vault or wandering free like I was. I hate to think that Von Dacia captured them while we were busy elsewhere. I'm not sure what we should do next, my friend.
I wonder why four.
Beginning to
Oh,
seem
4
hopeless.
arms. Of course. Mehrunes Dagon has 4 arms. That's kind of why there are 4 ambitions. That's a significant number for him.
I hope
All
you're
right.
right. But I can't see a way ahead from here. If all else fails, we'll destroy ourselves before we let Dagon win. We're the keys to
Yeah.
unlock the barriers between here and the Deadlands. We can't allow ourselves to fall into his hands.
Okay. Back to the temple you go.
Kalia and Destron. They have no reason to trust me. Not anymore. But I'll
Yeah,
still
just
protect
keep them from blowing up.
And so, whatever Zyna did to prepare them to be sacrificed, it seems to have dampened their power. How long that will last? I'll
What
try
happens?
to train the twins as Zyna trained me. If all else fails, I can take them back to the Deadlands. The realm seems to naturally siphon off our energy and keep it at manageable levels.
Okay.
Not my first choice, but it will serve as a last resort.
The vaults were pockets of the Deadlands anyway, so that makes sense. Any further conversation? No, that seems to be it.
Sorry.
Okay.
I had no idea Zyna meant to betray us.
She wanted to kill us, Sombrin.
Yeah.
An apology isn't going to cut it.
Destron, Zyna betrayed Sombrin too.
Because he was stupid enough to trust her.
I will make this right. I promise.
Let's return to the temple. We shouldn't be discussing this in the street.
You know, this is going to make it really complicated to trust Lyranth. Okay. Well, I think I'll take a seat here. And get back into this. So, I think we'll take our break here and pick it up the next time. So we're making a lot of good progress in this whole Deadlands Blackwood chapter, digging through the quests, as it were, the main story. We'll pick it up in about an hour, so it is, looking at my little thing here, it says 87 degrees down in the corner there. That's probably backwards for you. Sorry about that. It says 87 degrees, so it is warming up a lot in this room. I'm getting quite frizzy. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, you know, pipe up, join another one. Pipe up in the chat. Let me know how things are going. Love to find out from you guys. you can also follow the channel, and so that you can get notified of when I'm going online. It tends to be on Wednesdays around midday and Sundays on the afternoon. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy the stream, and I hope you'll tune in for the next one. I'll be starting up again at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So I hope you'll join me then. Alright, take care. We'll see you all soon.
The Nibbin's back is wide. Good ships along Leo and Quay await the morning tide.